weigh the truck down. I imagine.
The truck down, but the truck is made for hauling.
Plansoes Dana parks her truck beside a former church building in Robbinston, nearly 10 miles outside of the Passamaquoddy Pleasant Point Reservation down east. Dana grabs a 7-gallon jug out of the truck bed, splashes it with vinegar to clean it, then sticks it underneath a trickling spring nearby.
Well, we've been getting water here for probably 15, 20 years.
A couple of decades, yeah.
Yeah, the community has been coming here, and before this was a church, and everybody just came to get the water here. And
Dana says ever since she can remember, tribal members either used water from this spring or purchased bottled water at the store for drinking, cooking, even brushing teeth. It's because the water coming out of their tap at home was often discolored and smelled bad.
growing up, my parents always said, don't drink the water's not good for you. And so I have a childhood memory of always looking for different well places to go to, and we would go and fill our jugs and bring them home, and that was always a rule in my house. My parents would never drink the water. We grew up all our lives lugging water, and I've taught my children the same thing. And I can remember my oldest son, when he was 1.5, 2, he held up an empty water jug and was like, we need water. And it really hit me like, oh my God, this is a real issue. I was so used to living it that it becomes a part of your life.
At the core of the issue, say residents, is the source of the tribe's water, nearby Boyden Lake. The lake is full of a lot of organic matter, including leaves, and requires substantial treatment. And while officials point to water samples saying that the water is safe, several recent test results show that the water has repeatedly exceeded federal limits on trihalomethanes. Those are contaminants resulting from the disinfection process that federal authorities suggest may increase cancer risk and liver and kidney problems.
It was great. It was terrific. Yeah, we were able to go to the...
Pleasant Point Chief Maggie Dana says the tribe has been looking at different solutions for years, but the COVID-19 pandemic only increased that urgency. Elders were told to stay home, but couldn't trust the water coming out of their taps.
So if you're laying in bed and you're, sleeping and you're sick, obviously you need water to get better at the minimum. And how does that play a role if, say you run out of bottled water and you have to drink tap water,
So when I go around every day.
In response, Plansoes Dana and other staffers from Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness designed a color-coded system to ensure that elders had water during the pandemic. Each day, elders have put colored pieces of paper along their windows. When the paper is yellow, it means that they need something. Dana will knock on their door, check what they need, then bring supplies back. Much of the time, it's water.
So I'm lugging at least 100 gallons a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I'm still trying to reach people in the community if you need water. So I'm hoping that I'll start lugging more water for people.
While the system has worked as a short-term fix, the tribe is now pursuing several other solutions. A new well with a hand pump is being developed at a local site, so members won't have to travel miles away to access water. A potential project with MIT could also bring filters into tribal members' homes. And the state and tribal leaders are partnering to fund a new carbon filtration system at the Passamaquoddy Water District's treatment plant. Yet tribal leaders say that in order to create a long-term solution, major changes are needed to the laws governing tribal sovereignty. Dana says if legislative changes to restore tribal sovereignty are passed, it would be easier for the tribe to acquire lands and use them as a water source.
So that's our solution, but we don't have access to that, or there's barriers to that. And that kind of goes back to the state of Maine, the Settlement Act, the Implementing Act. It just seems like over and over the pattern is we're restricted. To me, that's, it just holds us all back. And in this case, it's just really, it affects our people, their health, everything.
As she finishes loading a jug of water into her pickup truck, Plansoes Dana says she's encouraged by the new efforts. But after so many years of distrust, she says it could take a while for some tribal members to believe that the water is truly safe.
But I think there'll be some trust once, they see the reports and they know that it's certified by our own people. And I think we'll get there. It's going to take a long time. I didn't think I would see it in my lifetime, but now I have hope for that. Yeah.
For Maine Public Radio News, I'm Robbie Feinberg.